So let me guess, you're trying to create your strategic plan and you're encountering resistance and you don't know why. We see this all the time at different levels of the organization, whether you're a not-for-profit, for-profit, or government organization. And there's a host of reasons and possibilities behind why you're getting resistance and how to overcome them. My name is Anthony Taylor. I'm the managing partner at SME Strategy. And for the past 10 years, we've been helping organizations create and implement on their strategic plans. And today I'm going to talk to you about the reasons why you face resistance in your plan and where it's coming from so you can mitigate it effectively. So let's say, regardless of where you're at in your organization, you're trying to create a strategic planning process, move it forward so that it gets implemented successfully. And now you're getting resistance, whether it's from above, below, or beside, and you're not exactly sure why. So I want to cover a couple of the reasons why and where you're going to encounter the resistance. So first, I'm going to talk to you if you're a middle manager, senior manager, and you're trying to move forward on your strategic plan and you're getting resistance from your CEO. What we see a lot from entrepreneurial organizations is the CEO, especially if they've built the company from themselves and started it from the ground up, they're not used to having accountability. They're not used to like processes. They're not used to structure. They've had to do things a bunch of different ways. They've probably been in shiny object syndrome for a while. They haven't had to say no. And then the idea of a strategic plan about structure, rigor, they don't like because they don't see the benefit of doing it. You know that as a manager and a senior leader that you need it because you need to hear where their direction is and what they want for the future so you can get your job done more effectively. And so as a means of communicating that, getting them to see that a strategic plan is not necessarily more structure and restrictions, but it is making better use of time, money, energy, having everybody have a better work environment and everybody working more effectively together. So if you can get them to see the benefits of the strategic plan and not as something that's restrictive, then you're going to have a much better chance of getting them to buy in and to get engaged in the process. Now, let's say the roles are reversed. You're a CEO and you're trying to get your team to engage in a strategic planning process, but they don't want to do it because it might feel like more constraints, more process takes a lot of time. Okay. The benefit for them and how you want to get them on board is that you're probably not communicating your vision clearly. They don't see what you see. They might be confused about it, or you're just doing a bad job of communicating where you want to go and why it's important. So one of the benefits of having these type of conversations is that you can both communicate where you want to go and then hear where they want to go, so that you can get rid of that resistance, get that buy-in, and get everybody aligned on the same page, moving towards the same destination. If you have a board that is resisting your strategic plan, it's probably simply because they don't understand. A lot of the time, because of the function of the board, their job isn't to get into the operational details. Their job is to stay at 30,000 feet and inform and guide the organization, whether it's a business or not-for-profit. So as a CEO or as an executive director, you need to help the board get to where you want to go. I had to think about that one for a second. You have to be leading them. You have to be guiding them and recognize that doing a strategic plan and creating a strategic planning process is going to help make the board's job easier. If you help them make their job easier by providing better clarity, better direction, and better tools to help keep you accountable, it makes everybody's life easier, and it informs you as the CEO or as the ED on how to do your job the best. So if they're frustrated or if they're not buying into your vision, they probably don't understand why you need to do strategic planning or what the vision is in the first place. And the last subgroup that you might encounter resistance from going through the strategic planning process or creating a strategic plan are employees, okay? So if employees aren't bought into your plan, it's probably because they don't understand how it applies to their day-to-day, or they've been part of a strategic planning process before and it was negative, and that probably applies to a lot of people. So you really have to get them to see the vision of where you want to go, get them to recognize how it ties into their day-to-day, and be sure to put metrics along with their performance so that their individual performance is tied to the organizational vision so that there's a connection point. If there's no connection point between their individual work and the big picture, then they're going to be apathetic and not want to move it forward. The other thing is that if you have performance measures, it has a positive effect of you being able to measure people's performance, and it has a negative effect for those low performers. So if they're resisting a strategic plan or the implementation of a plan, it could be because they just don't want to get found out that they're underperforming. So the good news is by putting that process in place, they're going to discover that, oh man, I'm not a fit in this organization anymore, either because I'm not doing my job well, I'm not meeting my performance goals, and eventually the writing's on the wall and I got to get out of here now, or culturally or directionally, I'm no longer a fit for the organization, so I'm going to resist it until I leave. And that's a really great part about doing strategic planning. And if you uncover resistance in the strategic plan, it probably means that there isn't alignment. So you can do one of two things: either work on generating and creating that alignment, or get them out of the organization because they're clearly not going to where you want to go. And the last thing that sort of applies to all of these categories is if you are encountering resistance in your planning process or in your execution, I want you to consider, are you pushing the plan on people? Are you telling them what to do? Or are you inviting them into the process and seeing how they can contribute? The key part of a successful strategic plan creation and implementation is that you lead people through the process. If they're not following you, then you're not leading. So make sure that you're taking into account change management, that you're taking into account good communication and good culture throughout all of the process of your strategic plan, and you'll have much more successful implementation, much higher buy-in, and a much more enjoyable process. So I hope that helps you decrease resistance from your strategic plan from a bunch of different stakeholders. If you thought the video was useful, comment below. If you're stuck any place with people, let me know. And my question to you is, where have you found resistance and how did you overcome it? So let's share with the community some best practices and what we can learn and share with one another. So my name is Anthony Taylor. I'm the managing partner at SME Strategy. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Hope it helps you create a more effective strategic plan, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care, everyone.